Hello YouTube, it's Buzz4 Scott here, and today is a very sad day in American history. If you guys do not know, today is 9/11, September 11th. This day represents the day of the September 11th Twin Tower attacks on the World Trade Center back in September 11, 2001. It was a very devastating incident. That it was a day to never forget. Even though I was born 4 years after that. But before we start the video, can we please take a 10-second moment of silence to remember the people who have passed away in 9/11. Thank you guys. Please enjoy the video. Have a nice day.
This stop is Knapp Street and Shore Parkway. Next stop, Emmons Avenue and Brigham Street. This stop is Emmons Avenue and Brigham Street. Next stop, Emmons Avenue and Ford Street. This stop is Emmons Avenue and Ford Street. Next stop, Emmons Avenue and Brown Street. This stop is Emmons Avenue and Brown Street. Next stop, Emmons Avenue and Nostrand Avenue. This stop is Emmons Avenue and Nostrand Avenue. Next stop, Nostrand Avenue and Shore Parkway. This stop is Nostrand Avenue and Shore Parkway. Next stop, Nostrand Avenue and Voorhees Avenue. This stop is Nostrand Avenue and Voorhees Avenue. Next stop, Nostrand Avenue and Avenue Z. Transfer available to B36. This stop is Nostrand Avenue and Avenue Z. Next stop, Nostrand Avenue and Avenue Y. Transfer available to B36. This stop is Nostrand Avenue and Avenue Y. Next stop, Nostrand Avenue and Avenue X. Transfer available to B36. This stop is Nostrand Avenue and Avenue X. Next stop, Nostrand Avenue and Avenue W. This stop is Nostrand Avenue and Avenue W. Next stop, Nostrand Avenue and Avenue V. This stop is Nostrand Avenue and Avenue V. Next stop, Nostrand Avenue and Avenue U. Transfer available to B3. This stop is Nostrand Avenue and Avenue U. Next stop, Nostrand Avenue and Avenue T. This stop is Nostrand Avenue and Avenue T. Next stop, Nostrand Avenue and Avenue S. This stop is Nostrand Avenue and Avenue S. Next stop, Nostrand Avenue and Avenue R. Transfers available to B31 and B2. This stop is Nostrand Avenue and Avenue R. Next stop, Nostrand Avenue and Garretson Avenue. Transfers available to B31 and B2. This stop is Nostrand Avenue and Garretson Avenue. Next stop, Nostrand Avenue and Quentin Road. Transfer available to B100. This stop is Nostrand Avenue and Quentin Road. Next stop, Nostrand Avenue and Avenue P. Transfer available to BM4. This stop is Nostrand Avenue and Avenue P. Next stop, Nostrand Avenue and Marine Parkway. This stop is Nostrand Avenue and Marine Parkway. Next stop, Nostrand Avenue and Kings Highway. Transfers available to B7, B82 and B82 SBS. This stop is Nostrand Avenue and Kings Highway. Next stop, Nostrand Avenue and Avenue N. This stop is Nostrand Avenue and Avenue N. Next stop, Nostrand Avenue and Avenue M. This stop is Nostrand Avenue and Avenue M. Next stop, Nostrand Avenue and Avenue L. Transfer available to B9. This stop is Nostrand Avenue and Avenue L. Next stop, Nostrand Avenue and Avenue K. Transfer available to BM1. This stop is Nostrand Avenue and Avenue K. Next stop, Nostrand Avenue and Avenue J. This stop is Nostrand Avenue and Avenue J. Next stop, Nostrand Avenue and Avenue I. This stop is Nostrand Avenue and Avenue I. Next stop, Nostrand Avenue and Flatbush Avenue. Transfers available to the 2 and 5 trains, B99, B11, Q35, B103 Limited, B41 and B41 Limited. This stop is Nostrand Avenue and Flatbush Avenue. Next stop, Nostrand Avenue and Glenwood Road. Transfer available to B6. This stop is Nostrand Avenue and Glenwood Road. Next stop, Farragut Road and Nostrand Avenue. This stop is Farragut Road and Nostrand Avenue. Next stop, New York Avenue and Farragut Road. This stop is New York Avenue and Farragut Road. Next stop, New York Avenue and Foster Avenue. Transfer available to B99. This stop is New York Avenue and Foster Avenue. Next stop, New York Avenue and Avenue D. Transfer available to B8. This stop is New York Avenue and Avenue D. Next stop, New York Avenue and Clarendon Road. This stop is New York Avenue and Clarendon Road. Next stop, New York Avenue and Beverly Road. This stop is New York Avenue and Beverly Road. Next stop, New York Avenue and Tilden Avenue. This stop is New York Avenue and Tilden Avenue. Next stop, New York Avenue and Snyder Avenue. This stop is New York Avenue and Snyder Avenue. Next stop, New York Avenue and Church Avenue. Transfers available to B35 and B35 Limited. This stop is New York Avenue and Church Avenue. Next stop, New York Avenue and Linden Boulevard. This stop is New York Avenue and Linden Boulevard. Next stop, New York Avenue and Lenox Road. This stop is New York Avenue and Lenox Road. Next stop, New York Avenue and Clarkson Avenue. Transfer available to B12. This stop is New York Avenue and Clarkson Avenue. Next stop, New York Avenue and Winthrop Street. Transfer available to B12. This stop is New York Avenue and Winthrop Street. Next stop, New York Avenue and Fenimore Street. This stop is New York Avenue and Fenimore Street. Next stop, New York Avenue and Midwood Street. This stop is New York Avenue and Midwood Street. Next stop, New York Avenue and East New York Avenue. This stop is New York Avenue and East New York Avenue. Next stop, New York Avenue and Empire Boulevard. Transfer available to B43. This stop is New York Avenue and Empire Boulevard. Next stop, New York Avenue and Montgomery Street. This stop is New York Avenue and Montgomery Street. Next stop, New York Avenue and Carroll Street. This stop is New York Avenue and Carroll Street. Next stop, New York Avenue and Union Street. This stop is New York Avenue and Union Street. Next stop, New York Avenue and Eastern Parkway. This stop is New York Avenue and Eastern Parkway. Next stop, New York Avenue and St. John's Place. Transfer available to B45. This stop is New York Avenue and St. John's Place. Next stop, New York Avenue and Sterling Place. This stop is New York Avenue and Sterling Place. Next stop, New York Avenue and Prospect Place. This stop is New York Avenue and Prospect Place. Next stop, New York Avenue and Bergen Street. Transfer available to B65. This stop is New York Avenue and Bergen Street. Next stop, New York Avenue and Pacific Street. This stop is New York Avenue and Pacific Street. Next stop, New York Avenue and Atlantic Avenue. Transfer available to Long Island Railroad. This stop is New York Avenue and Atlantic Avenue. Next stop, Fulton Street and New York Avenue. Transfer available to B25. This stop is Fulton Street and New York Avenue. Next stop, Fulton Street and Nostrand Avenue. Transfers available to the A and C trains and M99. This stop is Fulton Street and Nostrand Avenue. Next stop, Bedford Avenue and Fulton Street. Transfer available to B49. This stop is Bedford Avenue and Fulton Street. Next stop, Bedford Avenue and Hancock Street. Transfer available to B26. This stop is Bedford Avenue and Hancock Street. Next stop, Bedford Avenue and Putnam Avenue. Transfer available to B26. This stop is Bedford Avenue and Putnam Avenue. Next stop, Bedford Avenue and Gates Avenue. Transfer available to B52. This stop is Bedford Avenue and Gates Avenue. Next stop, Bedford Avenue and Green Avenue. This stop is Bedford Avenue and Green Avenue. Next stop, Bedford Avenue and Lafayette Avenue. Transfers available to the G train, B38 and B38 Limited. This stop is Bedford Avenue and Lafayette Avenue. Next stop, Bedford Avenue and Kosciuszko Street. This stop is Bedford Avenue and Kosciuszko Street. Next stop, Bedford Avenue and DeKalb Avenue. Transfers available to B38 and B38 Limited. This stop is Bedford Avenue and DeKalb Avenue. Next stop, Bedford Avenue and Willoughby Avenue. This stop is Bedford Avenue and Willoughby Avenue. Next stop, Bedford Avenue and Myrtle Avenue. Transfer available to B54. This stop is Bedford Avenue and Myrtle Avenue. Next stop, Bedford Avenue and Park Avenue. This stop is Bedford Avenue and Park Avenue. Next stop, Bedford Avenue and Flushing Avenue. Transfer available to B57. This stop is Bedford Avenue and Flushing Avenue. Next stop, Bedford Avenue and Hughes Street. This stop is Bedford Avenue and Hughes Street. Next stop, Bedford Avenue and Taylor Street. This stop is Bedford Avenue and Taylor Street. Next stop, Williamsburg BR Plaza and Lane 4. Transfers available to the J&M trains, B44, B32, B39, B46, Q54, Q59 and B60. This stop is Williamsburg BR Plaza and Lane 4. This is B44 to Williamsburg Bridge Plaza.